to order. I'll ask the clerk to call roll.
Supervisor Singer.
Here.
Councilman Stat.
Here.
Councilwoman Crowley.
Here.
Councilman Frazier.
Present.
Councilman Grunwell.
Here.
Everyone rise to salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I need a motion to approve the April 13th minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes. I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
Approved.
All righty, all approved? All in favor? All right. Does anybody have anything for privilege of the floor? Moving along. Communications have been copied or notified to the town board. So we'll move on to the town clerk's report.
Into the supervisor for the general fund, 1,665.39. To the supervisor for water billing, 19,944.61. Details DEC, 165.31, and animal population control fund, $6, for a total disbursement of 21,781.31.
Anybody have any questions on the town clerk's report? Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, right. Over. Historian, Shep's Hardware down in Wayland is closing down. So he's been selling our stuff. When I talked to Denise, she said he has some really cool things down there. So she was going down there. Saturday was gonna be his last day of people being able to come in and offer to buy things. So she was going down there to see what kind of cool things were hanging around. Apparently, he's got one of the old registers. But he wanted a fair amount of cash for it. So she was gonna see if it was still left there and whatever. I said, well, see what you find out, and then we can go from there afterwards. So she was checking it. I used to like walking around in that building because it had the old wooden floors. You know, I just thought it was cool. Okay, code enforcement report has been distributed to the board members. Anybody have any questions or comments? Joe, anything you wanna chime in on?
Not at the moment, nope.
Starting to get busy.
Yeah, that time of year.
Yep. Wait. Come on. Ted, planning board.
Planning board met April 27th. You have the draft minutes. Handouts, they're quite accurate. Couple of changes to it. We considered a subdivision application for Deb Cora. We call Butterfly Lane. Eric Brownell needs to buy a little property to make his own property conforming. Somebody built a barn and they built it over the property line. And also his well is in the right of way, so he's buying .203 acres from Ms. Pecora to be added to his property. That still doesn't make his well legal, but he got a variance from the zoning board for that. The other issue on that is he had originally gotten a variance to build 2 feet away from the property line for his barn. But when the builder built it, he went over the line. So, and our CEO at the time gave him a BFC, so he was, happy with it. He didn't realize it.
It's amazing what being on the zoning board of appeals, what he's been figuring out, huh?
Yeah. Question for so we reviewed the application. and tabled it because the original variance gave him a 2-foot variance from the property line for his barn. And now the property line is shifting. So it brought into question the legality of that variance and does he need to do anything to modify it? So Joe and Eric were gonna contact our attorney, see if anything needed to be done on that. So it's held up the process for approval.
How far away from the property line is it now?
12 feet. So it's still
Still an adjustment. though.
Still. an
You can't
adjustment
pencil
to
in,
the-
you can't pencil in that one.
So it still needs an adjustment, so we're working through that
At
area.
least it's increasing it.
It is, it's making it more conforming to the town zoning regulation, but the planning board as well as Eric wants to get everything right, so we've tabled the application. So we did not review the seeker, so we kept the public hearing open and the preliminary review open until he can get back to us. We had also a special use permit application for a music festival. We talked about that last week. Did a lot of review with the zoning code, special use regulations. Everything seems to be conforming. Planning board agreed with this plan. So that application is now with the county. County planning board will review it this week. And hopefully get back to us within a couple of days because planning board meets next Monday. Since our regular meeting is a holiday, so we may or may not get the feedback in time to process the rest of that application. Hopefully we can because Adam, the applicant, wants to get moving on certain
Sure.
things and he can't move ahead until we get at least a preliminary approvals.
Yeah, he's got a lot of contracts. He's got lots,
Pardon?
he's got lots to do. So yes,
Yeah, so again, the timing would be hopefully if we get feedback soon enough. I'm gonna be out of town the end of this week, but hopefully we'll get it back enough, clear enough that we can process it on our meeting next Monday.
Ted,
Yes,
he had a little thing there last year. Did he not get approval last year and just go ahead and do it or?
he's held the thing at a much smaller scale for the past 2 years.
Okay, no,
Well managed,
Right.
no complaints from neighbors. This year he's expanding it, he's expecting more people and he's charging admission.
okay,
So therefore he needs a special use permit to operate this year.
okay, thank you.
So Ted, just one question.
Yes,
Did your board have any concerns about the 3 a.m.? That seems
we
like,
did, we talked about it a bit. We were asking for music to stop around 1 and 1:30 and then have the site cleared by 3. So that's kind of the timing, but he has asked for, and the planning board has said 3 a.m. for the stoppage of the activities. And then, some of the other details, he'll have the site cleaned up by Sunday at 5 p.m. Except for the food trucks will still be there and the porta potties will still be there, but the site will be returned to its previous condition within a reasonable amount of time. So yeah, there were concerns, we talked a lot about that, the noise levels and we've notified, as the code requires, we notified all of the neighbors that are within 500 feet of his property of the application in the event. Haven't heard anything back from anyone either, so it seems to be going along, and it's a 1-day event, and that's where we are.
that's like,
But Joe Miller has been extremely involved and helpful. He's arranged for sheriffs to check for traffic control, parking issues. And it's a very well organized event.
He did it.
Adam.
I know last year he did it, and it was bigger last year than it was the year before.
Right, it's wrong, and so this year he's charging admission, so.
When it was, like I say, I went by it a couple of times and, hit it very well marked with cars going in and people directing people
Yes,
and
parking
stuff like that.
attendants.
Yep.
And he has designated marked out parking spaces as required by the zoning code, so.
Yeah.
he's doing a good job on the organization. Joe obviously has the responsibility of following up to be sure they're complying with the site, with the special use permit.
All right,
And that's all we had.
hey. Jeremy,
All right. We've been up on the dirt road, Candice Hill, with the grader and the roller. Obviously, all the rain we have isn't helping our situation up there, but the potholes have a tendency to return a heck lot faster. Did some sign work down Crossroad and Old Westlake Road South, mostly to update and add to what was already down there with the construction going on County Road 36, just in case people want to use that as a detour around that. We're just making sure we're compliant. We've been over South Old Bald Hill doing prep work for this year's project. Got a boom lift rented right now from Admar. We've been cutting overhanging tree canopy. Did some ditching today. I've got a pipe to replace tomorrow, cross pipe. So Suco, our asphalt contractor, came out and they did a core sample, determined that the thickness on the road is suitable for cold in place recycle. So we're gonna move forward with that. He surprised me by telling me that they got me on the schedule for May 21st. But with the rain that we've had in the forecast and still in the forecast, I imagine we'll be pushed back a week, if not more, which I'm all right with. And I'd rather be in the beginning of the schedule than
at the end of
at the
it,
end of the schedule and have to deal with all the other rain delays, so. Tim Hareska's back, been back for 2 weeks, made a run around town with a brush head, cutting all the woody shrubbery, and now he's started mowing. The new boom and mower attachment has been delivered to Stevenson. At this point, we're waiting on the tractor itself to show up there for install. I'm being told sometime in June that's gonna be delivered. Shop work, putting the snow plows away, taking plow frames off. We've also done our annual safety refresher training. I got word 2 weeks ago from Soil and Water that we were successful again with another grant submittal, this time through New York State Department of Agriculture. So we submitted for $100,000 culvert replacement down on Crossroad. So that would be the Honeoye Inlet stream. Right now, there's a substantial beaver dam upstream with an active lodge that poses an issue, and that will be the first order of business to remove that because the water is flowing uphill in directions that it shouldn't be whenever it has a good steady stream coming through there.
to do something with the beaver dam and stuff, you gotta work with DEC or,
It's on their property, yeah.
okay.
So I'd have to get, well, last time we got a trapping permit from the DEC. Somebody 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'm assuming that they had hired somebody to go up in there and they broke the dam out. But beavers have since rebuilt it.
Mhm.
So right now, whenever it rains, the majority water isn't even in the main stream. It comes through the
Right.
swamp to the auxiliary pipe. It overwhelms the auxiliary pipe and then it flows uphill back into the main stream.
Wow.
So we're gonna have to address that here probably sooner than later. And what could potentially happens is if there was enough water and it blew the dam out, then all that stick debris and everything is gonna come down and plug our pipe.
Mhm.
And then down through and plug the county's new pipe that they're working on. The last thing is truck pricing. So, like I said before, I'm trying to get out ahead of of the new emissions. So I need to have something ordered by July at the latest. I also, given that it's taking 2 years to get a completed truck nowadays, I don't want to end up in the position that I'm in right now with a 12-year-old truck that we had to limp through all winter long.
Right.
So I got prices for you that I included. I did meet with Nick from Tracy Road this morning, leaned on him a little bit. He sharpened his pencil some. He come back with a new price. We'll call it $322,000. So he did take like $3,400 off of his price. So the two Western Stars now, there's about $4,400 difference between the two of them. Then we've got International and a Mac, which is substantially higher on the Mac, which is pretty much usually the way it is. I did also include the schedule as to how it plays in with the budget for equipment replacement.
Mhm.
What's your thought?
Comments?
Yeah, what's your thought on equipment comparison and experience with the trucks that we have? Cause we, we had all
So
of
we
them.
have one of each, we have one of each right now. The Max, we don't really have any issues with. The International, it's got some it's got some electrical quirks to it. And just the overall build quality seems to be a little cheaper than the other two trucks. And the Western Star that we have right now, we haven't really had any issues with that either. So I would probably lean towards going with the Western Star. And I know we're not gonna run into that issue like we just did because this is spec'd with an automatic transmission. So we won't run into that PTO issue like we had with the last truck that we ordered from them.
So since Tracy Road and Western Star of Batavia,
Yeah.
I mean, they're both pretty close, like you say, they're close in price.
They're close in price.
Now working with them.
So the way I see it, if something happens with the truck and I need to get parts, I'm going to Tracy Road because it's closer. If the truck needs to go to the shop and get serviced, it's going to Tracy Road because it's closer.
Okay.
I guess that would be a selling point in my eyes that if we buy the truck from them, they'll take better care of us on the back end of the deal.
Well, that's important.
Mhm.
Is that just a programming thing for the 470 horse and the 505 horse?
Yeah, it's a bigger turbo on it
Gotcha.
to accommodate more airflow.
So Batavia can give you a bigger truck.
More horse.
It's the same truck. They put a bigger turbo on it and then program the computer so that it's got higher horsepower. I can get the same thing from Tracy Road as well.
Is the Western Star better warranty coverage?
7-year. They both have 7-year warranty on the engine and the
The
drive.
Regional's only got 5 and 6.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
The,
they threw that electrical warranty in there because they're
Having issues.
having issues.
the road service coverage, you don't care about.
Not really. I have through that Verizon Fleet Tracker, we have free towing through that program. So,
Okay.
How much more would it be for Tracy to put in the
505.
505?
I think that was like a $2,000 upgrade.
What do we have now?
Our Western Star now has got the 470.
It's big enough.
It's big enough. It's also a manual transmission, so sometimes you do require a little more horsepower with the automatic transmissions.
Mhm.
He sharpened his pencil and brought that one down. So basically we'd go back up a little bit. If
Yeah, if we-
put the bigger blower in.
If we upgraded the horsepower, we'd be back up like $2,500 somewhere in that ballpark.
I don't know about anybody else, but I think with going to the automatic transmission, we're probably better off going with the bigger blower so we don't have heating issues.
Right. Yeah, it just gives, it gives you more horsepower, so you're not quite so laggy going up our hills. It's what the main, objective is.
There's gotta be something screwy because they should be able to sell it at the same price.
Right.
There's something screwy there.
I think it's overhead. I think it comes down to overhead and what the bottom line, how much they wanna make on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this Western Star Batavia, their main market is the Buffalo area. And he's, kind of coming over here and trying to steal some of the deals.
Can you buy from Western Star and then use Tracy Road going forward?
Tracy Road is the local dealer here in the Rochester area.
Okay.
And then Western Star, the other one is Western Star of Batavia, but
Okay.
yeah, I could buy
Whole like back end, like.
I could buy it from them and then use Tracy for maintenance.
Right.
However, they might not be quite as
Attentive.
cooperative and attentive. If they hadn't got the,
Yeah, they're required to do whatever warranty type work is because that's
Exactly.
across the manufacturer, but.
Does he know what Batavia's price was?
He did not know the exact price. I did tell him that they were lower than him and he agreed to sharpen his pencil and,
Yeah.
he's not
I
happy
would-
because of territorial type thing right now.
Right. If my suggestion is call him back. And he sharpened his pencil, but he sharpened his pencil on one with less horsepower.
Right.
So ask him to give the price on the same horsepower with the larger thing and really sharpen that pencil.
Okay. Yeah, he's got,
And then if we got the stuff, then we can go ahead and do the resolution to go ahead and order it at the June meeting, so we get it in there before July.
all right. Yeah, he's only got a few build slots left, so he's got one reserved for us right now, pending what I tell him anyways, but, I'll have him do.
Well,
the
just,
work
I mean,
tomorrow.
without giving numbers, because you really can't with collusion, you're not supposed to do that.
Right,
But tell him even with the reduction, he's still above what Batavia was with the lower horsepower.
Exactly.
So if he can get, my feeling is with the price he's got, if he can get that blower in there and maintain the price at 322,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Mhm.
upgrade that blower without increasing the price anymore.
Right.
And like you say, just, pit the whole thing without numbers. That's still gonna be above what Batavia's giving you for
Right.
with that same, with apples to apples.
right.
He's getting a sale.
Right.
Yeah, I'll press him with that and see what he has to say.
All right. Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, well, I got a whole bunch of stuff under here. A whole bunch of goodies. Okay, so we got the agreement, supplemental services agreement with Barton LaJudas to that kind of splits. We're gonna get hopefully Jersey Hill where that section 5 has failed. Stepped up to be able to hopefully get it on schedule and get it done this year so that it's open for winter.
Can I ask a question before we get too deep into that?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the sections are. I don't know how to determine.
It was on the map of the last, on the last meeting we had, there was a diagram with the things, there's what, 7 sections?
There's 6,
6,
starting up at County Road 37.
Going down. okay,
I have a picture of it in my report too.
Yeah.
but just, for reference purposes and stuff, so we've got the Martin LaJudas, and theirs covers the whole project this year and next year.
Right.
For the supplemental agreement for all the services to
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he was looking the one that showed each different one,
Oh,
is what he was talking about. He wanted to see where each different section was, but it starts at the top and goes down.
a different folder.
Didn't last on some folder. So, yeah, so this was Barton and Judas, both Megan and Soil and Water and Jeremy have been talking to them. This came back with supplemental agreement that I gave everybody a copy of too. This is the authorization resolution to, and I'm gonna just go through each one of them. We can do them as a block. Barton and Judas, for the Jersey Hill Bank stabilization project, like I say, they are gonna work on the section that failed. And hopefully get bids out so that we can get somebody construction by the fall, so it's done before winter. And then, Soil and Water split it into 2 contracts. For just the one for the section 5 for now, and then the remainder of it. Now, the numbers don't quite add up.
Really?
But the reason they don't is, you notice I was.
I was already in her office.
You were in my office on this one. Anyways, the numbers don't add up because the actual project cost is 1.9 million. We have to come up with 300 and some odd thousand, so that's why there's.
The one that's for 1.5, that's for the whole that's
It's
the
the whole
contract for the whole entire Jersey Hill project.
Right.
The other one is for the Fleximat grant that we were.
No, what I've got here is for
This is
Jersey Hill. The
different.
Fleximat was a whole different thing that I got a question on somewhere else, but no. This is their agreement for services, and in the second one, they've got the whole 1.5 million. But the 123,000, which is, so that's gonna be part of the thing that we're gonna probably have to pay out of, that comes from the 1.9 something that the actual project is.
Okay.
And we gotta cover 300,000 of the 1.9.
Yes,
Yeah.
300 and some odd thousand of the 1.9.
And does any of his equipment, or is it, do we have to pay out that 300, or can we take off?
It'll probably
It'll be
be majority, but
Let's begin
majority
with
contracted out.
contracted, yeah, the
Yes.
biggest thing is gonna be contracted.
That's why I didn't know if Jeremy was gonna.
Yeah,
do any
and that's the one thing I need to sit down with Megan as I start to develop the capital project on that thing. Is it's all a reimbursement one, correct?
It's all reimbursement.
So what I gotta do is I gotta find out to make sure that there can be partial payments
Right.
through it. Otherwise, we're gonna be getting into a ban
Right.
type situation like we do with the water project, if we have to front all the money before we get it all back, so. That's something I might have noted in there that I need to talk to her about, to see if it gets broke down, if there are, supplemental partial payments as work is completed. Or does it have to be totally completed before we're reimbursed,
Right.
so. Get a
In your
question?
class, I just set up a reserve specifically for highway, so it's in there, and it's hundreds of thousands.
Mhm.
And that's already earmarked.
But yeah, but there's still, it's, whether we gotta do.
Right.
Submissions, partial submissions as we go and where we're at, so. And then the soil and water contract, so. So those are the 3 resolutions for us to get going on that one. And once I talk to Megan, I'll probably set up. We'll set up the capital project, because that can transcend years for the whole project, and then as we do the Jersey Hill, we'll work our way through it.
Okay.
Right. As you see, when she sent me these, now the exhibit A that's referred to in the contracts that is not attached here is actually the contract with DEC, which they have not received yet. They expect it sometime this month.
Is that kind of hold us up?
No, that's why we're going ahead and doing this.
Beautiful.
And DEC is historically a pain in the ass.
Projected, really? Projected total timeline. Do you think we'll be able, open before we're snowing?
When I met with the engineer down there, he was thinking November,
It's gonna be
provided
tight.
that everything kind of rolls along, he's gotta have a surveyor down there, he's gotta have some deep bore samples done to see how far down bedrock is in that particular location.
Okay.
they'll
Okay,
develop a plan. We don't necessarily have to put it out to bid because it's an emergency repair. But it would definitely benefit us if we did,
exactly.
if we have time to put it out to bid because we're gonna get a better price.
Right,
Added to the fact that, you know, a lot of them, the construction things have mostly been bid and their schedules are all done already, so.
oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
putting it out to bid may also bring ones out that have availability,
Mhm,
you know, and
Right.
go with us and hopefully.
The opposite is that they're all booked up, so they don't care.
They're booked,
for all
right.
the high price.
Right. Yeah.
Because they don't want to do it.
Right,
We also have the
So
fact
weed
that
it out.
Ramsey Construction is currently working in town right down the street, which might work in our
Might
favor as
help us.
well, cause yeah.
okay.
So that's why you wanna
So
get
all
going, and get
three-
the engineer, yeah. So if we,
Motion to approve.
I second.
any other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Eagle Eye over there would have picked up the 24 on that one too. And as Jeremy mentioned, and I put the thing in there that we got notified for $100,000 for a grant for the crossroad.
Is that gonna cover it or are we gonna have to?
Yeah, I think he had it at like $90,000 and then some of it was their administrative costing. That's the same thing that's still 75-25, so. We
Our
designed that.
labor can count, our labor and stuff can count
Yeah.
towards our portion on that one.
We designed that with a arch pipe that has its own self-contained bottom, so we don't have to pour any footers, so we can, that's something that we can do ourselves. So we'll be able to do all the labor. We can use FEMA rates for the equipment to offset our that price too.
Yeah. Terry,
And again, okay, on all
oh,
in favor.
no, all in favor? Aye, opposed, carried. We got a very full lake.
So Kate has undoubtedly noticed the hope.
Mm-hmm,
And those of you that don't live on the lake, you probably have a soggy yard. So I get my weather data from LA University. And they get the Honeywell data from the wastewater treatment plant, which was built in 1980. And 2026 year to date is a 46-year record
aye.
high precipitation year to date. So if you're wondering why your yard is soggy or your lake level is so high,
Right,
that's why. And Dorothy and I have been working with Mike Baker. And as far as I can tell, the outlet channel is flowing normally. It's just that every time, the lake is 14 inches high right now, but it's running between 14 and 18. So every time it gets to be 14 inches, we get more rain and it goes back up. So
yeah, thank God Mill Creek is open, or we'd be in
Yeah.
trouble, yeah.
on April 23rd, we held our task force meeting. And we conducted our normal business and project status. And we launched one new pilot program. Biochar is burnt wood chips in a grown-up bag. And according to the experts that we talked to, can reduce phosphorus up to 50% in stream. So we're gonna do a small pilot down by the Miller Field Station. And if we see a 50% reduction in phosphorus, then we'll move to a larger stream in 2027. So just a pilot, but you can do what you can do. The Honeyway Valley Association roadside cleanup on May 2nd was a success. We had about 60 volunteers come for the free breakfast. And it's up in here with the beginning stuff. I do want to highlight the Finger Lakes Land Trust Oak Wilt Workshop on June 4th at 6:30 at the Southwest Hall. It is the latest terrestrial invasive attack on our trees. which we don't like to see. And
It's an excellent presentation.
Hmm.
It's an excellent presentation. Our forestry chapter already
Seen it?
had it at our meeting and they did it's really worth going to.
yeah, I think it's the same.
It is. I already asked. I asked Austin.
Yeah, yeah. And then the last thing was on page 2. Ontario County Soil and Water stabilized the lake bank at Sandy Bottom Park in about 2021. 2023, we had high lake level, took it out. Strong wind from the south. I worked with them for 2 years and we got grant funding. And then October of 2025, they did it again. More rock riprap down low, and as you can see in the picture, in March, got a strong south wind, took it out. So it needs to be rock riprap. So that's that. And that's my update. Any questions?
There are some flyers on my counter too for that workshop. There are some flyers on my counter for that workshop.
And I gave the flyer and it was in all the packets.
And I guess one last thing that didn't make my report. Last Friday and Saturday, Dorothy and I attended the New York State Federation of Lakes Annual Conference to get the latest presentations and network with our regional experts, which was good. So be encouraged with what's going on. And that is it.
Anybody have any questions? Comments? All right. Assessor's report has been distributed to the board members and filed with the town clerk. She's been very busy updating and getting a tentative roll from the full reveal done, and basically all the informal things went pretty well. I think we don't know what we're having for anybody with agreements yet. I'm sure they'll be a few. So water district.
So we're running lower, consistently lower than last year. I did look at April 2025 to see if I could, glean anything from that. And last year, over March and April, there were 2 multi-day, in fact, one went on for well over a week, leaks in the mobile home park. So that contributes to some of it. Because as I was talking to Mark pre-meeting, the water pumped is lower, the water billed to customers is also lower. So it's lower all the way through the system. And in my spare time, I will ask Dave Rowley if that they've changed anything that would lower the flush rate. So other than that, everything's normal. And I did see the invoice that just came from RWW. The labor rates are correct. Okay?
Yep. I'm gonna add you into the reports for the next thing around right now, so
Wasn't sure what that would be good.
go for it.
All right. Well, I did hand out a copy. In fact, Mike Virgil has a copy since he's volunteered to be part of this. I'm not sure if he's speaking yet, but basically, this is what I've come up with. We haven't had a meeting yet. I have been talking to some residents and so forth, trying to get input. I'd love input from the town board and anyone else that's in this room. Just a cool candidates thing. Incredibly, some of our local schools have not been doing much compared to what we did when we had a bicentennial. And we only got one shot, so I'm sort of gonna meet with the superintendents and say, hey, what are we doing? And I don't know about Wayland. If Jeremy, could I ask you to reach out to your wife and see if they're doing anything? Would that be
With the bicentennial?
the 250th birthday? Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're a part of our community as well.
Right.
This is just a draft. It's a moving target, but at some point I want to nail this down, but I have not reserved. the town hall with Eileen yet. Oh, it's there.
And when you say the schools aren't doing anything, what did they do the last time?
Well, in 1976, we were writing things, we were very involved with doing things, and I'm talking about when I was 10 years old.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah, and it's a civics thing too. I mean, it's providing our country the whole, everything.
right.
So,
Okay, so now that you say that, we did a parade over in Farmington for the bicentennial.
I was in a parade in
Yeah,
downtown Kenmore. I held the flag.
okay.
I was down in Shalat watching the tall ships.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You're doing, Chad.
I wasn't even alive.
Yeah.
So reaching out to organizations such as the Legion, and Chris, maybe you can help with that as well.
Yep.
Mike might be trying to get with hold of John O'Connor. Do we do some kind of a ceremony? There's all kinds of possibilities. We could even tie in the music fest and maybe have one of their performers down here doing a little acoustic light background music. You might ask the highway department if we can set up some kind of tarp with a ridge line outside just in case of
Right.
weather or whatnot, but I'd have used this room and that room. I don't know how many people we would get.
Right.
Okay, now, a couple of things, suggestions. First off, I have a portable PA system.
Ooh, we're looking for donations too, yes?
I have a portable PA system.
What do you need one of those for?
Every speaker I've lined up can
You know,
project.
Exactly.
In case I get a reflex action there. Currently, the big tent that was down for July 3rd,
Yeah,
that's the Legion's.
oh, it is.
Yes, that's the Legion's tent.
But how what kind of manpower to put that to now we're.
It takes 2 or 3, but if ahead of time, if somebody, actually they would have to be taking it down because July 3rd, it's gonna be up down there. So if they could take it down and move it. The other thing
The
is,
date works, but
either whether a tarp or a series of those 10 by 10 pop-ups,
Mhm.
of which I have 3.
right, they can blow pretty fast, but again. Good to know.
Yeah.
At least it's something.
Absolutely. No,
The Hemlock Fire Department, I think, has a large party tent. Takes like 4 people to put it up.
Yeah, takes 3 or 4 to put it up.
Okay.
But, yeah.
because now we've got some space over there.
Well, we gotta be careful with that space over there, because that's where the septic system is. I mean, a little careful because those things get big stakes put into them to hold them up.
Yeah, we don't want to, yeah.
They have big stakes that go in and then hold them up. But anyways, so
So a footprint for that tent, sure. Well, then suddenly it becomes a little more spread out, maybe, again, don't know what kind of interest we're gonna have. Am I still working with a $500 budget? See if that got budgeted down at the bottom. I can't remember what I put in. I did the budget way back when.
we'll
Celebrations.
go with that for right now.
That's what it says in the back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I
that's-
mean,
But it's in the budget. It
itself,
was in the
so.
actual budget.
That's what I was thinking of.
Celebrations.
Music. And what I was thinking of music is, and this has to, we can kind of maybe do it again at the next time around, is Alan Hopkins, who was John Hopkins' son.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa.
And he's more like folk,
Yeah.
very
perfect.
easy
That's
listening.
what you want. That's what
Yes.
you want. Yep.
And I have his contact number because I had him at Redbeard a couple of times.
Oh. Okay, I did bump. Okay.
What's wrong with you?
I forgot what I put in it. Here, it's 3,000. We're gonna have a party now. So the cupcakes, and so I priced out
You didn't
cupcakes.
follow up when I said, we'll go with that?
I priced out cupcakes and depending on the quality, between $2 and $4 a piece. If we have.
Do we have to pay
A piece for cupcakes?
What's that?
A piece? Them damn things better be sprinkled in gold.
Walmart, what you did.
They're expensive.
They are.
It's cheaper than cake.
Yeah.
Cupcakes are cheaper than
Thin
cake.
cake,
Good.
yeah,
Okay.
And easier to serve.
Yes.
absolutely.
Well, yeah,
And the research says some people are gonna try and take two, so for every 100 people, we need 112 cupcakes.
Are you gonna take 3 then? Oh my God.
Put a sign up.
So, things like lemonade, just that red, white and blue theme.
Mhm.
If there's some things we can already use from existing organizations that are red, white and blue patriotic, that we put out on Labor Day, 4th of July. We can,
I got totes of them down at the
Exactly.
Legion from the parades and stuff.
you might,
All
you
my stuff that's down.
know what, you could keep that trailer even active. You keep it decorated.
You can use it as a bandstand.
Well, again, these are ideas, so it's a moving,
Okay.
document, if you will, but I wanna,
You should
feel
think
free to.
now about marketing. Yeah.
So I can reach out to Finger Lakes Visitors Connection, that's not a problem, although they do have our wrong website, still I checked that out. And even our own website, there's some links, so I'm trying to get a hold of Denise, you can circle back, I've got. text-
Denise Coon?
Yes.
Okay.
Want to involve her,
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
but we've got that info at candidatesnewyork.gov. And we could utilize that to send out information to folks that way as well.
Mm-hmm. How many people signed up for that?
That's a key one.
Okay,
But at least we could see how, that was the intent, was to utilize that for
right.
things like this going forward. Certainly could be on our website once we have that consensus. We could even say a tentative date. We could even put it up.
Mhm.
We can put it, submit it to the.
There's interest call.
Honeyway Happening site too.
Exactly,
Honeyway Happening site too, we can
yeah.
pop it on there.
And the Finger Lakes
Good thing I don't
Visitors,
have a home phone anymore.
Yeah.
the Finger Lakes Visitors Connection has the virtual site that is asking for information to
Right,
be uploaded to them, for them to promote things.
Mhm.
yeah.
So you could utilize that too.
Okay.
I can forward the email to you where she mentions it.
Okay.
Chris, you're thinking of having these events here?
Yes, town hall. Yes, yeah, keep it simple, yes. Well, also just to get residents that haven't been to town hall, get them inside, just looking at what we have.
Mhm.
What are we? What are game days about? Also, some kid type events as well, something for the kids. And that's important to kind of tie those in well. I'm still kind of looking at different activities that way. That one, we could find a long space where we've just got this timeline with USA, and then if people want to write things in from their own family's history or whatever they want to write in, it's their mural, their long sheet.
Right,
So we can do something like that,
and then the window below, yeah.
Well, again, and again, some of this could be used for our bicentennial, just kind of lead up to that as well.
Oh, sure.
Any questions?
So just FYI, the 11th is the Saturday before the town board meeting, so we could make all the board members. In order to.
Oh, that's a good thing. You pick up their packets. This is great. Yeah, it's a mandatory. Hours of service.
He won't be here.
Meet your town board member. Anybody that's thinking about running next year might consider being here for that. That'd be a good day to be, so.
I wanna.
I'll be able to, I should be able to come every next month as well for update,
Okay,
because then before you know it.
it'll be here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna come quick.
It's gonna be here. Jeremy, the Heidelberg Materials Flex Mats, that's that other. There's a voucher that was in April for $4,663. Is that-
Crusher on number 3. That's for crusher on number 3, that's part of the process of installing the Fleximat. That's to rebuild the shoulder after drop.
Okay, now is that anything that had been included in a grant or no?
That is included in the grant that we are working on.
The 18, is it 18? Round 18?
Yeah, round 18.
Okay. Again, because I gotta do a resolution to get the budget right, so that, because that'll get submitted in and we get reimbursed, correct?
Yep. And so what we were doing is we had I think it was a 5112.23.
Yeah, it's in 5023.
23, yeah.
Yeah, permanent improvements, equipment is where the voucher went out through, which is why I've got a negative balance in there.
Right.
Which was my question, if that was part of the grant, then I'll do a resolution like the other one to increase the revenue. Even though we don't have it yet, but it'll identify the revenue so that I can make that back to a zero. And put a budget in there. Okay. Moving on. And nobody seems to know, I guess I'm gonna have to call the DEC about the speedies permit on the tank,
Yeah, I don't.
or call Labella, that was the engineer, right?
The last I heard about it from Mike Saffron,
Jeff Riley.
that last year, right before he retired, that was still open because we didn't have vegetation growing up there.
Right.
But
And hard to grow vegetation out of rocks, but okay. The paint green. Okay, I'll either call the DEC or call Labella and find out what's going on with it, or both. I'll probably have to call both. We did finally, after almost a month's worth of aggravation and whatever, get the SIM card straightened out with the tank and the pump station. I have a very strong dislike for Verizon right now. So anyways, but they still had, only you would probably remember, they still had Mark Pulver on there as a point of contact.
That's a long.
For Verizon?
Yeah. They didn't want to, they wouldn't let me approve anything because I wasn't a point of contact. It was Mark Pulver. They had our old domain.
Mhm.
So when they were trying to send emails, it wasn't coming through. It was, and then who else did they have? They had somebody else on there that hasn't been, oh, they had you on there, Mike Virgil. And I'm like, wait a minute, none of them have been with the town for
Probably
years.
20 or 30 years ago or something.
So anyway, so we finally got that all straightened out where they have Kate's correct email address. They have my correct email address. They have Krista's, and they have Eric Fiegel and the other guy that I was dealing with at the city of Rochester, the station over there, in case there's another issue.
Good.
God, it was so much fun. Okay, as opposed, anybody have any questions on the financial report as presented?
No. And so I'm gonna motion to approve March,
Okay,
and April as a single okay.
okay. I have a second to approve what was sent out, what we had last month for March and then this month for April.
I'll approve.
Second. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? All right. We have two resolutions for budget modifications. This, December?
Nothing.
December, yeah,
Okay, yeah, we're having some,
yeah,
I gotta find out.
one more month.
Yeah, I still got issues with, I think the auditors had some adjustments put in there that we didn't do anything with.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna use, increase appropriated fund balance by 43,465.62. It's the highway personnel for buildings for their time spent over tearing the building down next door. The increase of code enforcement from part-time to full-time, and then the hospitalization that we all approved. And then the second resolution is the court grant that we've actually received. And then I put increase, so I've increased the revenue line for that and increased the justice's JCAP grant line for expenses by the same amount. They've got some of the chairs in, the gallery chairs are still to be delivered.
The motion. Second.
Other questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Just a brief update, the next meeting at June 8th, the county, Chris Day and the engineers plan to be back here with revised information on the County Road 37 project. Chris Day and I were conducting interviews last week, and in between interviews, we pulled the thing up, and tentatively what they're drafting up now is they're gonna do the full takedown and reconstruction of from the intersection to just past where Birch Road comes in. They are not going to change that intersection.
Hmm.
From there on, they're just gonna do a normal grind up and reclaim that all the way down. The issue with the drainage for Buckland, they're talking about undergrounding across Buckland's property. So in other words, it's daylighting just at the, right on the other side of County Road 37 now. And there's a swale that it's going through to the rest of the swale that goes behind Buckland's property, between his and Neil's, behind Thayer's, to the natural way that it goes. They're gonna put underground across Buckland's property. The conversation that Chris and I had is, first he wanted to bring it down County Road 37 and dump it on Thayer's, and I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna happen. So as we were talking, and Joe was going to reach out to Larry, because they'll need an easement to put it in there, and then to allow them to go in there and work, you know, without causing any damage. And we pulled I had Joe pulled the septic permits and stuff so that we know where the septic system is, so they don't have any damage with that. But they're gonna work on the drawings and do another presentation when they come back with that tentative thing. And I believe what's gonna happen with the ditches in front of Dale's and the neighbors there is they're gonna put the guardrails up.
Good.
So that is the conversation I had with him as of last Tuesday. And he tentatively put on their thing to come here in June. So we'll get that information out to, Larry and Dale and the neighbor and stuff like that, so they can be here and see what he's talking about with that one. I got a reach out from, where's it from? Franklin Energy, that NYSEG and RG&E, which are basically the same company, hand in hand these days. And I don't know if there was conversations before about putting in EV charging stations here.
There was a
It
brief when
was.
John was on the board.
Okay. And where did they want to,
He
anybody?
didn't think it was a good idea at all.
Nobody
Right.
thought it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
We ditched it.
Okay. Yep. Like I say, I got a thing reached out, so that's what I wanted to know. I figured it had been coming around a couple of times at some point in time. And then there was a couple of emails going around that you were involved with the solar law.
Mhm.
One of the things that just my brief thing like this is, the comment that was made, I think we should do everything we can to stop solar projects. We can't totally say no.
Right.
Like, we can't be arbitrary and capricious with that, which is, why we have taken the time we have with the wind law, the solar law, and the adult entertainment one. That was always a lot of fun one. To allow it, but really confine it so that it's not any big projects and stuff like that. And the conversation with Joe, and I don't know if anything, was Ted included in any of it? That went back and forth, is that maybe we should look at that. And there's a law from, is it Saratoga?
Yeah, Saratoga County.
Saratoga County that I guess has some things in it that to kind of look at again. And I haven't pulled the one from Saratoga and read through it yet to see if there's something in there, but you worked on the solar thing, thoughts about, it
I
came.
don't know what it is you're talking about changing, so.
Yeah, I'm not, what were the specific things, was there a couple things that you can highlight, Joe, that they had in their law that you thought we should contain in ours?
I'm about 70% through Saratoga's law, comparing it to ours, and it's more of the legalities for the state and the ORES coming in and moving DEC regulations aside to let the projects happen on state property. And it's more of a commercial concern than it is like a residential concern. I can try to do a full report before the next meeting, highlighting the differences.
Okay. Yeah, it was so that the state siting doesn't come in and basically overrun our law and say, okay, we can, because we have so much state land in town. To see if we can, kind of keep them from.
And that's what they've been trying to do in other areas in New York State. They're not
Yes.
even doing secret.
Right.
Right.
They just,
They're
yeah,
bypassing everything.
everything.
Yeah, there is 3 active lawsuits that were issued through county DAs for 3 different counties in New York State that involve the state, railroading all the DEC and local laws and just doing what they want.
So we'll get some outline thing and see if there's something that we can try to stop them, but sometimes sometimes you just can't. But how those look, the lawsuits come out might make a big difference too. So true. It's found when it goes as far as, home rule and going with home rule. Anybody else have anything?
So I have some good news.
Okay,
Integrated was here last week. And we learned, so the people that were here, town clerk, assessor, bookkeeper, code enforcement, all learned how to retrieve something if they ever lose a file off the backup system that we have on site. We still have a couple of machines, 2 in particular that Chris and I need to talk about, which is her laptop and the hard drive. So that piece is done. The other thing that I talked to Integrated about is the age of that machine. And so I'm going to ask them for a quote so that we can think about putting it in next year's budget. That unit is 8 years old already. And life expectancy on those units with the amount of read writes that it does is 3 to 4 years. So that I would like to recommend we replace next year. So we're one step closer to having the backup, data retention, and disaster recovery plan done and submitted again to the board and supervisor for review and approval.
yeah, I think we definitely ought to get that done.
Ballpark, how much are they?
Probably $3,000 to $4,000. They're not that bad. Yeah. I just want to
It's
make
like a
sure.
bigger hard drive.
Yeah,
It's a big standalone hard drive.
exactly. It's gonna be RAID 5 and it'll probably be double the capacity that we have today. So if it's $5,000, so be it. Yeah.
Better than losing everything.
Exactly.
Now, I know our bookkeeping also backs up to the cloud at Williamson.
Exactly. Yep.
Ours, mine does too.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of different
Right.
things there.
Right.
Okay, motion to approve the bills?
Roll.
Any questions, comments? Yeah, any questions? All in favor? Opposed. Last privilege of the floor. Let's see. We have a couple of birthdays coming up. Chad's is tomorrow. Mark's is the 24th.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And Jeremy's is the day before our next meeting on the 7th.
And with the expectation that the times are the same, because I don't get notification anymore now that John's not here. For the Memorial Day services on 25th, 9 AM in Bristol, 9:30 Hemlock, 10:30 here in Canada, but they get here early and take a break 11 o'clock is the parade in the town of Richmond, followed by the services at the gazebo.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And that's the 25th?
Yes,
Okay.
Monday, the 25th.
Okay.
If anybody knows anybody that wants to be in the parade, they're all more than welcome.
Marty,
I know. You don't have choice.
what do I do?
I do. All right. If there's nothing else,
This will do good.
all in favor?